ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
One thing I don't know, and that's Crow. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the Marvel Studios What If Disney Plus Series Deluxe Hydra Stomper. If you're trying to get your Marvel Legends, you can do so.
Search your feelings, you know it be true.
Darkside Toys is a store for you. Link below. And while you're down there, I ask you to please hit that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And this is a hefty figure. This thing really does have some weight to it, man. Wow, very, very big chunky figure. Anyway, nice artwork on the side right over there from the show. Really dig that pose and everything. On the back, there's a read up over here, and it's in multiple languages. And then on this side, you get that same image of Hydra Stomper again. You get a spot varnished Watcher logo right there on the very top. Not much more at the bottom, so let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Hydra Stomper out of the packaging, and I really like the design, but there are some issues that I definitely have with this thing. We'll get into that, but first let's get a closer look at the accessories, and then we'll get a closer look at the figure. So the figure comes with two sets of hands. You get the fisted hands, the open hands for grabbing Hydra soldiers. You get this backpack or jetpack apparatus right here, and then these blast effects, which are just enlarged repulsor blast effects from an Iron Man figure. You can see we just have the translucent white right here, and it fades into a yellow, which looks pretty good. I do like these. They do port into the back of this right over here, but they don't port into the Gatling gun featured on the right side of the figure. But anyway, this looks really cool right here, having all this black paint at the end of it. You know, you can see all the, the carbons burning at the end of these jetpacks, so I really like that a lot. Looks pretty sweet right over here. I like all these tubes and all the mechanics involved, or faux mechanics involved. If these move out of the way, you could kind of port them in there. They don't plug in all the way, but they kind of like shift into place right there. So that's pretty neat. And they do move up and down. They have hinges right here, so they are articulated. I'm going to plug this onto the back of the figure in a second, but I just want to look at these hands really quick, which I think look pretty good. The two open ones are not exactly the same, but they are fairly identical. And then you get these very similar looking fisted hands, which looked like they had fingernails on them for a second, but it's just curled up. I don't know. I'm dumb. And plugging this into the back of the Hydra Stomper, a little bit weak sauce because it's a little flimsy. And port it on, and then you have to give it another push, and it'll sink down there, and it'll stay on there a lot more securely. So yeah, if it's feeling loose on you, just try pushing harder. Just to give you guys a heads up, I'll have an update video later today on my own action figure line, Street Humans, with the Kickstarter launch date, price point, and some other updates. So stay tuned for that. But getting back to the Hydra Stomper, I love what the writers did as far as having Steve Rogers become this Hydra Stomper over here. I thought it was really cool. It made the character just, shine in a different way. It was still very much Steve Rogers. I liked it a lot. It's just a little bit weird, Howard Stark would come up with an Iron Man suit, because anyway, it's Tony Stark, but I get what they're doing over here. I really like how this looks, man. I love the baby blue paint that they have right here for the eyes. That looks great. And I do have a little bit of little nicks right over there on the side that I'm not happy about. But you can see we get this darker green to break things up coming around the back as well and onto the other side. You have Peggy's handle right over here. And again, these look really cool. I do like them. And there's not a whole ton of variety going on throughout on the figure. It's just mostly a giant hunking, big old like man tank thing. But you can see we get the star right there, C-15, and then you get the arc reactor, get some brown right over there, and some, it's like a metallic brown for these little pieces right here coming down the arm. I like all these bolts and everything. You have the machine gun right here, which unfortunately these blast effects don't fit into it. I assumed they would, but if you want to use some from another figure, you can do that, so that will work, but it's unfortunate it doesn't come with any. And then looking at the waistband right here, this is actually not just free floating, it's attached, I think, in the back. I was trying to shift it downward, but it doesn't really want to move down so much, so it does cover things up as far as, the ball joint that we have underneath right here. And looking at the underside of this side of the arm, wow, that looks pretty cool. I'm surprised Hasbro made these hips with so little plastic. It makes the figure a bit flimsy, so that's a big gripe of mine. I'll get into that more with our articulation, but just looking at all the bolts and everything coming throughout, it looks really cool. I do like the design of this thing. It looks awesome to me, so I am very happy with it. Just to see it again without the whole, backpack piece, you can see it's kind of bland and flat, and there you go, push, and then push again. Yeah, I think I got it the first time. But yeah, these don't move or anything right over here. And then you can see the components for the heels and everything. I want to pick this down, but nope. And then he's got these big old treads right over here and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Which again, I guess if you wanted to port that in there, but he doesn't use those. That's stupid. So for me, the biggest downside of this figure is how wobbly it is. It's a pretty heavy figure, but man, it's just really, really wobbly and he falls over fairly easy. But his head will look up pretty far. I mean, I wish it could look up more than this, but I still wasn't expecting it to look up that far, so I'm fairly pleased with that, even though I wish it could look up more. So he does look down all the way. You get side-to-side rotation right here, and you do get head pivoting. The shoulders also flip up, but they rotate all the way around with those shoulder joints. No butterfly joints over here, but we get a bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, and then all the hands turn side to side and hinge up and down. You do get just a waist cut over here, which is very well hidden, and you can turn that side to side. You do get some waist pivoting right over here, and you will move forward that much and back a little bit. You get hips that move outward that far, and the legs will kick forward just that much and back almost more so. You get an upper thigh cut in there, and then you get a single jointed knee that bends in at about 90 degrees, and then the ankles do rotate side to side. They will move down a little bit. They do move up, and it has actually pretty good ankle pivot. Like, look at that ankle pivot. I wish they did something like this for the HasLab Sentinel, because, yeah, I wish, I mean, come on, man. I love my ankle pivot. That actually bums me out more than the knees, because the knees you can make tighter, but the ankle pivot, if it's not there, well, it's not there. Yeah, just getting him in a vanilla pose like this, yeah, it still fell over. But anyway, measuring out the Hydra Stomper, you can see to the top of the head, it's standing at about 9.5 inches tall. It's a big figure. Then for a size comparison, I wanted to bring out the first 10 years Mark 1 Iron Man, and then we have our Infinity Saga Ironmonger, and I did not expect this to be taller than the Ironmonger. I even got the legs spread out fairly wide to match the stance over here, and yeah, he's definitely, god damn it, see what I'm saying? But yeah, he will still be taller than the Ironmonger if I get the legs spread out the same distance right over there. So yeah, didn't expect that. Very tall figure. Then here's Hydra Stomper next to the Endgame Captain America, and we have the Mark III Infinity Saga Iron Man, you know, because it's an amalgam of these two. Then here's the Hydra Stomper next to the World War II Captain America figure and Peggy Carter, and I really like how the colors are fairly close to each other between these two. That's actually a pretty neat coincidence. We obviously have tan and brown for Cap, and then the motorcycle is a much more saturated green color than what we're seeing right over here. I popped this off, just had to see what it would look like with the Steve Rogers head sitting on there, and it looked weird. Yeah, it looks very, very weird. And then I had to compare the Hydra Stomper next to a couple of MCU Hydra soldiers. You know, I had to take some pics of this Hydra Stomper stomping Hydra. Then here's the Hydra Stomper next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Ooh, I want to ride the Hydra Stomper. Huh? Can I jump on, please? Sweet. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, show some love to the channel by simply clicking that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and a big extra thanks to all these people over here that support this content via the Tron. If you're interested for the bonus perks, check it out, link in the description below. This figure makes me feel so conflicted, man, because I think it looks really cool. Like, I like this whole human tank design they made for it. I like how it's hefty, and I like the amount of articulation that it has. It's just a floppy mess sometimes. Not as much of a mess, but just floppy, and he falls over a whole bunch, and that really annoys the hell out of me. So I don't know how long I'm going to enjoy the figure dealing with that, but at the same time, there are the things that I like about it. Like, it's just a cool looking piece. I had to use a Hot Toys clamp over here to get him on the rotating base because I wanted to get some aerial shots of him flying around, of course, you know, so it does look very cool. I do like it, but at the same time, it frustrates the hell out of me. So, man, at the price point of around $50, I'm going to give this Hydra Stomper a sud rating of,
it's not too bad.
and I'd like to know what you guys think, so please let me know in the comments section below. If you want to see the latest Marvel news, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me over on social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok. And I will catch you guys later. Peace!
That's crispy.
Woo! Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
We're shot, your face, I set my shot,